There's a store that has brand new name brand merchandise significantly cheaper than everybody else all the time. There's something wrong.
Right now on KGW, a large-scale retail theft bust at a flea market in Gresham. Details on how police pulled it off and the charges against the suspect. Plus, kids in the center back in the classroom today after teachers in that district agreed to a new contract on Friday. Then later.
And Oregon's a super exciting place to grow nuts.
Yeah, this story is a little nutty. Actually, it's a whole lot of nuts. Hazelnuts, to be exact. The booming business behind Oregon's state nut. Ahead on the news at noon.
You know, we made the best of it. You got to have fun, but I still had to work.
Kids in the center marched back into the classroom this morning after a week-and-a-half-long teacher strike came to an end. Parents say the return to school takes a big stress off them as they scrambled to find childcare during that strike. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Tim Gordon, in for the normal crew. Teachers in the school district agreed to a new contract on Friday. KGW's Thomas Schultz brings us the latest after speaking to families outside of school this morning.
Well, here in LaCenter, students are back in class after missing 8 of the first 12 days of school. They actually started the school year on time before a teacher strike after the first week of school. That was all resolved on Friday when teachers and the school district agreed to a new contract, ending 7 months of negotiations and the first strike in school district history. LaCenter agreed to a cost of living adjustment and a cap on class sizes, which is really unusual. We rarely see school districts agree to class size caps because it's exorbitantly expensive. Still, teachers and district officials are relieved to finally have the strike behind them.
It's a big relief to be done. We were ready to go further, but it's a relief to be done, yeah.
I am ecstatic to have it behind us and be able to get kids back. It's the lifeblood of our school. Students and families that come together to help grow brain cells, and that's what it's all about.
And with school starting back, students and parents also relieved to get back in class.
I'm looking forward to doing the reading part of class because I love to read.
I'm excited to get back into school. You know, it's important for him to be in here, and honestly, you know, it helps with work. We don't have to find childcare and stuff like that. So him being back at school again is great, and get back here with the teachers and his classmates.
So the big question remaining here in LaCenter, what about those 8 days missed? Are those going to be made up? Well, we asked the superintendent that exact question, and he says those 8 days will be made up. It's not known yet when that'll happen. He says that'll be decided at the next school board meeting on September 23rd. In LaCenter, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
Good news up there in LaCenter. All right, taking a look at weather now with Chris McGinnis. Hey, good news there too, clearing out, right?
Yeah, I mean, you drove in the fog, I assume, this morning, right?
Yeah.
It was thick over the interstate bridge, and it came in very quickly. In about a 30-minute time frame, we went from clear to really foggy. Well, that fog has lifted. This is a look at the visible satellite imagery over the last 3 hours, and you can see, whoop, fog forms, and whoop, it disappears, and now we're off to our regularly scheduled sunshine, right? Mostly sunny now over downtown, 62 degrees at noon, which is right about what we were thinking we were going to hit, even with the cool start. And by the way, I need to change this to 48. 48 degrees at PDX, the coolest morning since mid-June, in fact. So it's been a while since we've been that chilly. Hillsborough started off at 43. McMinnville, 42 degrees early on this Monday morning. Tillamook even got down to 43 as well. All right, we're done with the chill, and we're going to continue warming into the mid-70s late this afternoon. We'll also notice an east breeze begin to pick up later this evening, and once that does, that will effectively put a cap on how far we chill tonight, and it will set the stage, Tim, sorry, I almost said Drew, for a launching pad into what could be near 90-degree temperatures tomorrow afternoon. So a little shot of summer for this last week of summer. That's coming up in my full forecast in just a few minutes.
Wow, I guess so. All right, Chris, we'll see you soon. We are learning more about the man suspected of killing the right-wing political activist Charlie Kirk. The suspect, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, is now being held under special watch inside a Utah County jail. Authorities are digging into his personal history now, including his relationships and ideology, as Kirk's supporters plan a major public memorial. NBC's Morgan Chesky has the latest from Utah.
Yeah, right now that 22-year-old murder suspect Tyler Robinson is being held inside this Utah County jail, and authorities tell us that he's being held in a special housing unit where investigators can keep him under close supervision. And since he's been brought into custody, investigators have been digging into his personal past. Over the weekend, Utah's governor telling our own Kristen Welker on Meet the Press that right now Robinson is not cooperating with authorities. However, his roommate is, adding that his roommate is a male transitioning to a female who had no idea Robinson was planning any kind of attack. Now, Charlie Kirk's views on transgender people and trans rights have been openly critical, but authorities say that it's still too early to tell right now whether that relationship had a direct correlation into the attack on Kirk last Wednesday on the campus of Utah Valley University. In the meantime, Turning Point USA, the conservative group that Kirk helped co-found, is planning a public memorial at the football stadium where the Arizona Cardinals play in Arizona. The president confirming he will be in attendance. Turning Point USA also adding that since the passing of Charlie Kirk, they have been receiving inquiries nationwide from college campuses asking to establish chapters. Telling NBC News, so far, they've received more than 35,000 requests for more information. In the meantime, as Robinson sits inside this jail, we do anticipate formal charges to come tomorrow. Among those, aggravated murder, which in the state of Utah does carry the potential for the death penalty. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Orem, Utah.
Well, here's a look at some other national headlines this afternoon. After years of uncertainty, the future of TikTok here in the United States may be settled. The Trump administration announced a new deal with China to keep the app from getting banned in the U.S. The administration says the deal balances fairness for China while putting U.S. national security first and expects it to be finalized on Friday. A new investigation warns toxic fumes may be leaking into airplane cabins, making some passengers and crew sick. The report says incidents are getting more common. However, both Boeing and Airbus have responded, defending their aircraft and saying cabin air is safe. For the first time in 70 years, Ford is moving its world headquarters, but the U.S. auto giant won't be moving far. Their new campus is only about 3 miles from the company's current Dearborn, Michigan home. The new 2.1 million square foot building will formally open in November and is expected to hold roughly 14,000 employees. And Reba McEntire is engaged to actor Rex Linn. You see them there. The couple made the announcement at the Emmy Awards in Los Angeles last night. They've been dating since 2020 and met on the TV show Young Sheldon, and they currently star together on the show Happy's Place. Now those are your national headlines today. In your local headlines, police arrested a vendor at a Gresham flea market over the weekend for his alleged role in a large retail theft ring. Months of investigating led to thousands of dollars worth of stolen merchandise. KGW's Jake Holter has the details.
A fencing operation found out Sunday. Thousands of dollars worth of clothing, toiletries, cosmetics, and laundry detergent being carried out and loaded into a police van.
Items that are, easily you can get in and out of the store pretty quickly. As you see, there's bags back here, lots of jeans, things that you could just swipe off the counter or grab in stacks, to just kind of go out the door and get quickly.
The Multnomah County District Attorney's Office, Gresham Police, Portland Police, and the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office all working for months on this bust.
We recognize the harm a business like this can do to the community. When a thrift business like this shifts into becoming a fencing operation for stolen property, it harms everyone. It drives up prices at every legitimate retailer for every product that we buy. And this is a part of our effort to really combat the root of organized retail crime, not just the symptom of the theft.
Gresham Police Detective Adam Wright says a Saeed Alawi of Portland was running the theft ring as a vendor inside the Oregon flea market.
This is sort of the culmination of working up through a chain of organized retail thefts, beginning with targeted missions to interdict the thieves themselves, debrief them, gain information about where they sell their products, working up to this kind of final location where that stolen property is sold back to consumers.
Law enforcement says roughly 1,200 stolen items were found on the scene, equaling more than $10,000, not including what was found at Alawi's residence. Wright says the public can help stop these by being eagle-eyed when shopping.
Be saying if it's a deal that's too good to be true, really does apply. If there's a store that has brand new name brand merchandise significantly cheaper than everybody else all the time, there's something wrong.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
The U.S. Department of Justice is suing Uber, alleging some of the company's drivers refused to give rides to passengers with service animals. The DOJ is seeking millions of dollars in damages for the alleged victims and is also looking to force policy changes. Over the past year, KGW has documented Uber drivers canceling rides and refusing to take people with guide dogs. That is a violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. The Department of Justice received complaints about this around the country. Now the lawsuit against Uber claims the company has denied service to hundreds, maybe even thousands of people with disabilities who travel with service animals. We spoke to one local passenger who says Uber is discriminating against people who are blind and need a guide dog.
I just wish that there could just be some respect, for some dignity as far as recognizing that, you know, we are people.
In a statement, Uber said it disagrees with the allegations, saying, quote, "We have a clear zero tolerance policy for confirmed service denials."